going there and get this is a hackathon. I'm gonna go to the coolest and put the war. I'm gonna hack until the hackers can't get the war. Cause it's a hackathon. What? Cause I've been calling Jack. It's like, get this up. If I get some tech, right, get this up. Woman needs tech, right, get this up. Get some tech, I hit the one, what? Shit. Quando a batalha com a tecnologia, cada batida para não ver o que eu vou hoje, what? E quando lá se já I want everybody to sing. It's a hackathon. It's a hackathon. I can hear you. Go. It's a hackathon. It's a hackathon. Louder. It's a hackathon. It's a hackathon. One more time. It's a hackathon. It's a hackathon. Gee, why is thank you.
Down to the final 12. Right, we are going to announce groups of 2 or 3 at a time. They're going to come down and do their presentations. The judges is ready. They're going to give their final scores. And then we're going to go back to our room. We're going to decide on who our winners are. Are you excited? Yes. Yes.
It's been one hell of a weekend, but on behalf of the organizing team, there will be a thing later, but from my side, I would like to thank you all for coming through. It's been quite a pleasure seeing. It's been quite a pleasure seeing the kind of thinking. Misha was just telling me something. He always has a lot to say. Okay, so as Alicia said, we will be announcing the teams in pairs. So one request I would like to make is that when your team is announced, the whole team must go at the back, and then you go to the gaming area, and then come through this door. We're doing it in style now, eh? We're doing it in style now. Yeah, so when your team made the top two, you will exit by the back, then be by the gaming area, and then you will enter through this door. Are we clear? Yes. So, the way that the judging will work now is that your team will have 5 minutes, and then the judges will have 3 minutes to ask questions and also to guide. You know, because they say that do not judge or you too shall be judged. But this kind of judging is quite necessary because it helps you grow, eh? Yeah, it helps you grow. So the judging process is still the same, but I would like to quickly let the judges just briefly introduce themselves.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Hazel. I'm currently CIO at Standard Bank.
Afternoon, I'm Dr. Fukosi Marivatu, and I'm the Chair of Data Science at the University of Pretoria.
Hi guys, this is Giovanni, and I think you have already met me at the
Hi everybody, my name is Pinda, and I'm the CIO for MTNSA.
Good afternoon everybody, my name is Wani Conrad, and I'm the head of operation for MTNSA.
Hello everyone! I'm Wellington and one of the GMs in technology as well.
And I'm Ian from Guyana. Yes, Wata. All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, because we are a little bit behind on time, I would like to call on the first two teams, but then the first team that I will call out must immediately come on stage. So we still have the same process. You'll come with your laptop, and then, oh, the laptop must come.
A laptop can stay in front, and the presentation we need it back.
No, don't worry, we have all your PowerPoint presentations. So they will be loaded on these screens here. Facilitators from different rooms, please make sure that all the PowerPoint presentations are provided to Martin. Can the facilitators please take the USBs to Martin to make sure that all PowerPoint presentations are there if you have not done so. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, so remember, there were different groups. We call them stage groups, right, like soccer. And in each stage group, 3 teams could make it. So we are going to have 12 teams presenting here today. Here today. Here today. Here today. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, the first team that made it through to the top 12 judging round is Child Hero. So Child Hero, please approach with your demo laptop to the stage. Your presentation will be loaded and then it will be displayed from there. The timer, ladies and gentlemen, the timer is on the side there, so you'll be able to see how much time you have left, and when your time is up, it will flash a red light. And the second team.
You're a little bit tired. It's Chow Hero.
Chow Hero. Chow Hero, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. That is the first team. In my defense, I've been saying it like that ever since the start of the hackathon. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
Let's say that man, Chow Hero, please come through to the stage with your laptop. And your presentation will be loaded. Where's Chow Hero? Yes, please come through to the stage with your laptop, and then the second team that must go to the back. The second team that must go to the back is Team Avatar. Mr. DJ, drop on my selector. Okay, so it seems like they're still trying to find themselves. 5 minutes. Can you please play some music in the meantime? They said that, you know, that awkward moment when technology fails you. But anyway, while they're trying to sort that out with Team Chow Hero, we are going to first have Team Avatar. Team Avatar, can you please come on stage and do the things? I hate my job. No, I was joking. I love my job. Love my job. What else would they allow you to come address an event like this when like this? Huh? And if you're dressed like this at a hackathon, by the way, you are the most dressed. You are the best dressed.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and judges. We are Team Avatar. The members in the team are myself, Axel Bukasa, Moody Muteba, and Gary Kabongo. Today we'll be presenting our app, our solution called Indlela, which is a carpooling app.
Hi, I'm Moody. Our app is called Indlela. If you understand Zulu, that means path. Hopefully this is not a dating app, by the way. But by the end of this presentation, you'll know why. That's actually a happy customer, and you'll know why she's so happy. I want to hand over to Gary.
Hi guys. So, if you remember the theme of the hackathon, it's to create a solution that is contextualized and localized, right? So I'm going to use myself as a real-life example, a scenario. I commute to work every morning using a bus, and it takes me 2 hours to get to work and 2 hours back. Right? If I was to get an Uber, right, it would only be 15 minutes. So it would be great if there was a solution that would be cheaper than Uber that could assist me in getting to work and my daily commute, basically. So that is what our solution is. Moody's going to elaborate more on that.
Okay, cool. So the problem is there's people that sometimes take up to 4 taxis a day. Common scenario, taxi from maybe Katlehong to the taxi rank, that's 15 Rand. Another taxi from the taxi rank to Sandton, where you work, it's another 10 Rand, and vice versa. So people are spending up to 50 Rand and getting into 4 different vehicles to get to work. So super time consuming, also dangerous. We all know taxis aren't the safest mode of transport, and it's really inconvenient. So what we want to do is we want to provide a carpooling app, carpooling and ride-sharing app. What separates it though from other carpooling apps is the security aspects. Our main target market, our main users are going to be students and people who work, who have a regular commute on a regular schedule from Monday to Friday, and we're going to connect them with people who drive on a similar route to theirs. So you'll be able to see, you'll get a visual overlay on the map and actually see the different paths that people take, in different colors and stuff, and be able to go, okay, cool, I live in this area, but there's someone who drives past my area and goes to work in the same area that I work in. So, like I said, what separates us from other apps, and part of the reason why South Africa hasn't really jumped on the carpooling culture is because of safety. People don't want to get into a car with a complete stranger, on a regular basis. So what we're going to do is we're going to have criminal record checks on all users, on the passengers as well as the drivers, and we're going to have a community. So you can put in certain preferences like what kind of hobbies you have, and what kind of people you'd like to associate with, and we can filter for that, so we can connect you with them. It's also accessible because you'll be able to pay for the service with airtime, and it's visual. You get a clear overview of all the potential routes. Okay, so other benefits, of course, include lower pollution on a busy road like Willem Nicol. If people share cars, it's better for the environment as well. So how do we make money? We'll have a subscription service, 50 Rand a month. And like I illustrated in the example, for 50 Rand a month, that's 1 day's worth of transport for a lot of people that take 4 taxis. You basically get safe transport to work. So that's our primary source of revenue. Secondary source of revenue is advertising. We'll be collecting data on the users, so what their hobbies are, what their preferences are, psychographics, demographics, and be able to sell that information to advertisers. So, for example, there's youth that are into fashion or whatever, we know where they're going, we can target them geographically and psychographically as well. Let me hand over to Gary.
Alright, so the social impact on this, we want to be able to connect communities and bring people closer with the people that we live around, basically. And now we've got some time for a little demo. We used the Here API, and we were going to use the Huawei Cloud to host our app, but there wasn't enough time for that. So
So those are, what you're seeing here is two routes that connect, and they have different colors, and examples of the overlay. So as a user, you'll be able to see, so that's basically a view of one user who can see another user's route, and actually go, okay, cool, if we meet at this point, I can actually like contribute to this person's petrol and get a free ride. It's a win-win situation.
Okay.
On the solution, in terms of seeing, so this was connected to the, I guess, the security, showing other users routes is probably not good for privacy and security. So it negates your thing that you're not trying to actually solve, the problem about safety.
Well, not necessarily. The people that actually use the app are vetted. So we
it doesn't change anything if you're actually showing where people live and where they work.
Okay, so the routes actually aren't. Sorry, I didn't clarify. The routes actually aren't from people's homes. They're on common pickup, on main avenues basically. So you're not going to be able to know exactly where a person stays. Any more questions?
So, how do you enroll these drivers, the guys that are hosting the others?
So it's just like Uber or Taxify. They create accounts and they pay a fee to have access to see who wants a lift from them basically, and who wants to cover their petrol, and vice versa as well. So the users looking for riders pay a fee and log onto that. So it's literally just like Uber has a driver sign in and has a passenger sign in account.
So I could be unlucky and to find a driver that had a lot of fines and so on, and we would try to.
Again, we do criminal record checks on the people who sign up, so you're very unlikely to actually meet, to actually ride with someone that's dangerous or reckless.
Ladies and gentlemen, so I am from Guyana, but I represent an organization known as Geek Culture. So Geek Culture is formed with two words, geek plus culture, and we are a platform of about 12,800 techies across Africa. What we do is to create an enable platforms for innovation and creativity. And that's all. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Team Ciao Hero.
we are Chow Heroes. By a show of hands, who of you guys have wasted food this weekend? Well, I know I have, and it feels pretty bad. My mom runs a catering company, and in so doing, I see this on a daily basis, how food gets wasted. I can only imagine what Woolworths does. And imagine if I could contribute and help other people. Why are we passionate about what we do? 10 million tons of food is wasted yearly in South Africa. 61.5 million in costs with regards to production. 44% of that is fruits and vegetables. 16 weeks of electricity, we could have had no load shedding. So now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, how can I be a part of this? How can I help my community? You can help us by sharing your access and your surplus and becoming a hero with us. Our return on investment for our investors is, with our business model, what we have done is we've given them access to market through data using USSD smartphones. And our solution is Chow Heroes. Over here we've got the community aspect, because we're big on community. About us, you can find out more. Support, contact through our chatbot, and sign up. Just a quick little special thanks to the people at Tata for helping us. Sim Wood, Microsoft's Firebase, here, and also Microsoft's Insider app. And I'm going to just walk you guys through the prototype real fast. So sorry that it's not going to be visible for everybody, but what we've created over the past weekend is we've created a seamless login for the users where they can log in with Google. And over here, James is logging in. Yeah. So what happens is you can either select to be a hero or a civilian, and I've chosen to be a hero. So now what I do is I give a description of the food item I'd like to give, and I name it. And what we are going to be doing is add a picture functionality to it where you can upload the picture so the person can see the item. And the moment you upload this picture, it happens that in real time, you give access to people to tell them that food is now available for them. And as a civilian, what happens is you get the notification, you select, you can see the food items that are available within your vicinity. And over there we've got Sue. So Sue is our little chatbot, and what we'd like to do in future is add accessibility to the model, teach it more, and help people that have issues with regards to not being able to use colors properly, like being colorblind and speech to text. And we've also included allergens for people that have allergies, just to ensure that we cover ourselves. And over here, sorry guys, the nerves are hitting me, eh? And over here with Chow Hero, what we've got is, so what we've got is we've added an element. Oh. No, we can see it right there. Yeah. So what we've added is a feature of being anonymous, because we understand that privacy has become a key issue in today's society. So you can select to be anonymous. And in so doing, you'll get a code and you can add a pseudonym. And we've asked you to perhaps tell us, are you an SMME, a corporate, a student, or you want to still remain anonymous? And now we're just asking you to please share your location with us so that we can tell you where is the nearest shelter that you can share the food that you have. And what we've done is we've added drive-through dry foods, canned food, fresh food, home-cooked food. And this is to also touch to the restaurants that are out there that have access, that they can give those fresh produce to people. And you at home who overcooks can actually share that with people that are in need. And for being a hero, we thank you for taking this journey with us.
So, just a quick one. So the food is only deliverable to shelters?
Yes, that is correct. So we would partner with the relevant shelters to make sure that they have an influx. And what we've also tried to incorporate is USSD for people that have feature phones, because we understand not everybody has smartphones.
But then on the other side now, if you want to be anonymous and you want to be a person who accesses food, would they not also still have a problem with trying to go to a shelter because they'll be announcing themselves?
No. So now what would happen is we'd partner with the shelters to tell them that there's certain people that do want to remain anonymous, and we want to protect the people's privacy.
But how would they know who to give food to?
So now you'd get a unique code SMS to you, and then that's how you would verify that you are the valid recipient of the food item.
So there is an option to actually get the food from the person as you post it on the social media aspect. It's up to the person whether they want to drop it off at the shelter or get the food picked up at their location.
Can you elaborate a little bit on your business model?
Okay, so with regards to the business model, we understand that even if it's an NPO, we have to run it as a business. And so partnering with companies like Woolworths or data companies that give us access to the platform will help sustain us. And in so doing, it'll help us actually alleviate the fact that there's a lot of waste management and where do they take this waste? And we're providing them the opportunity by using our platform to actually utilize our services.
Thank you, Ciao Heroes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in my black book here, yes, in my black book, Bishop, this one. The next two teams, and the team that I'm going to announce now shall make their way to the stage quickly. And then the other one must go to the back and be ready by the entrance there. Ladies and gentlemen, the third team to make it through to the top 12 is Reportica. Come with your demo laptop here on stage. It's like, how do you feel right now? Okay, they said their demo is coming, and the fourth team to make it into the TadHack Johannesburg 2019 top 12 is Linexon! They're not here. Oh, you're here. Of course, you're here. So, Team Linexon, you are required to wait at the gaming area. So you go by the back. In there. Have you ever seen such excitement in your life? Okay, wait. Where's Team Reportica? Team Reportica, do you want to make a dramatic entrance? Okay, can you do us a favor? Do you have a song? Who runs the world? Okay, maybe not. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is Team Reportica. That's not so dramatic, eh? All right. Are we started? Okay. All girls team. This is exciting, eh? This is exciting. So I'm just going to stand like this while the music is not playing. Can you have some music, please, in the meantime? Oh, okay. Oh, they're ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Reportica.
Hi everyone, so we're Reportica. So our idea would be targeted to the SAPS. So what it does is that when you go to the police station and you file a statement, we would then, after the statement has been filed, we would then come into the picture and then have an electronic version of that statement. So what we've noticed is that when these statements are reported, either the dockets are missing or there's no backup of that information, or there's docket manipulation, and then these cases get dismissed before they even reach the court.
So, like she has mentioned about the problem identification, the manner in which we would go in solving this would be, like previously mentioning, developing a docket archiving solution. This system would then be secured by encryption standards. This will then ensure that there is actually limited access onto the actual data storage system. So this data storage system would be protected from manipulation in the sense of there's actually metadata that alerts the users, not the users, that alerts the reporter on when there are actual changes to the data. So it has entry, so say someone had to try to change the actual data on the docket, then it would record when that happened and alert the actual reporter. So this would, the only time these dockets would be accessed would be when the original physical docket goes missing. So they are then accessed by, say, the detective or the lawyer who's in charge of the case, or say, by any chance, the judge. So the authenticity of the electric dockets is done by the fact that it was followed through with the chain of custody, which then makes it admissible in court because it has followed the law of, it has complied with the law of England. And the APIs that we have used are maps for location of the actual report station of the police station, and we have also used IBM Cloud and Node.js for authentication.
Alright, we're just going to skip over those facts because we stated them before. So our main value proposition to the government and the SAPS is security. So first of all, we are going to be using the IBM cloud for data storage and further security. However, we've decided to wrap our security further with the AES 256 standards to make sure that it's secure, and then we've hashed it further to further encrypt the data so that even when someone does gain access into the data, they can't actually read or take anything out of it. We've also implemented a QRadar from IBM to ensure that we get a threat monitoring system. And furthermore, we'd like to just demonstrate our app to you. So, looking at this, we try to make it as inclusive as possible, so it includes as many languages as possible, given the different demographics of South Africa. So we're just going to demonstrate with the English one for obvious reasons. So say you want to actually lodge a complaint or report something from on the website, you just simply would log in like I did earlier, and then choose a language of your choice, redundancy, and then it will ask you what would you like to do today. So say you'd like to open a case, you go to open a case, and then it would give you the different options that you have, which is the age, date, ID number, and then attachment of evidence, right? And if you lodge it, it tells you successful, congratulations, you've lodged your case, and it sends an SMS to the victim, letting them know that it has been recorded and archived. Okay? So you want to following up, you simply insert the case number given at the end of the case, the ID number of the victim and the victim's surname to actually get the case back. That is the gist of our app. Thank you.
If you scan in the document, the evidence or the docket, are you only storing the metadata, or are you also going to store the actual docket?
The docket that is stored in the system is not the actual docket that's scanned, it's a replica, so it's an exact replica that's stored. And then the metadata is in the sense of the time of when it's stored and the actual change.
So not the actual content of the docket, just the metadata of the docket itself. Yes. Okay, thank you.
May I please correct that? We store both. So we store both the content and the evidence, but we also, the key encryption is the metadata that makes sure that no one ever alters it after it has been sent to our servers.
Okay, thanks for that. Can you tell us how you're going to make money out of this solution?
Please pull up the PowerPoint slide. Oh, okay. So what we're trying to do is, one, we're trying to sell the app to the police because we're trying to stay within the laws of South Africa. If we try to keep the app to ourselves, then we are apparently defeating the ends of justice. So we're selling the app to the police. What we are also doing is we're offering auditing and security services to the police. So given the fact that every 39 seconds there's an injection made and a hack attempt made, we offer the services to constantly maintain the system in real time.
I think one of the things that happens whenever people want to commit fraud, like people that make dockets disappear, is whenever the system is offline. Is there ever an offline version of the system, and what have you done to make sure that people can't use that as a loophole?
Okay, like I explained in the previous slide, we're using IBM. However, we do acknowledge that things do go wrong with our partners. And in the case that that does happen, we've used a... I'm so sorry. No, I don't mean it like that, guys. My point is... wrong, if it does go wrong, what then? What we did is we did the AES 256 standards, right? And then we've also hashed the data. So as the data comes into the server, it is hashed automatically, it goes through a pipeline, it is hashed and then stored. So even when you do retrieve it as a hacker, you can't do anything with it because you don't understand.
Alright, one more time for Team Reportico! And now, ladies and gentlemen, lose your minds. Please give it up for Team! But it is Team the Nixon.
How are you doing?
Greetings, esteemed judges, ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, I say yellow. We're back again to present an app so simple that it affects the community and it will change everyone's lives here. Now, we're Team Excel and we are here to learn Excel. Now, the problem statement with our app is major communication between students or teachers and the parents of the people who they teach. Imagine you have kids. Imagine you actually have kids and you want to track their progress. How do you do it? You use this app. Now, we have done our deep research to know that in this country, the pass rate of matriculants stands at 35%, meaning we have to develop this app to actually increase the pass rate. Now, what is our solution to this app? Our simple solution to this app is we developed an app to bridge the gap between teachers and parents. Now, once your parents know what you're doing, it's actually better. They can track your progress. They can allow you to get free from house chores. Okay? Now, moving on, parents, please allow us to get free from house chores. Moving on, we also have our security development lifecycle. We've researched the problem. We've done our thorough homework on the problem. We actually think this problem, MTN can sponsor us and take it forward. Now, with the testing and development, we have a prototype of a web app and an Android app, okay? And we are gonna keep upgrading the app until it gets somewhere in the market. Last but not least, I'll present to you my amazing business model. I have 3 business models. I have a business to customer, a profile-centric student, and now a business to government, which I think no one has touched on. Now, with the business to customer, it will simply be the school selling it to the parents. Basically not selling it, telling the parents to download it. Why? This is where the business to government comes in. The business to government is we sell the app to the government, and the government deploys it to all public schools. Now, here is what happens with private schools. With private schools, we can personally make revenue off it by selling it to them. And last but not least, we have the profile-centric student. In other words, we want to center this around student well-being, career development. What can the student do after school? Okay? Last but not least, we use our technologies. We use IBM API for your graphs. Okay, for your graphs. We use it also for your charts. So basically for analytical tool. Now we use Simul API for SMSs. So there will be notifications from the school to the parent. We use Android, MySQL, and PHP as well. Now, we just want to quick do a demo. Look over here, and now it wants to alert a parent that there's a meeting on a certain date. Once this gets created by the school's admin, an SMS is then sent to the parent's phone. Okay? Can you please show our esteemed judges the SMSs? And now, we do not aim to stop there. We keep pushing the limit. Now, you can take a look at this system. It has parents, students, teachers, subjects registered on the system. It also uses analytical data to check currently which subject is the most passed in the school. So this is the overall academic performance of the school. Okay, we can also add classes, subjects, and users. Your users include parents and students who want to log on to the system, and obviously teachers who want to keep a track of the use of their students. Now, last but not least, I will show my esteemed judges the Android app we actually created. Now, this is a parent who logged into the app and who actually, you see, this is like a parent, and this is the subject. So this is your overall percentage of the child in the picture. And as you can see, it also deals with various things like homework, exams, your tests, and all of those. You can see. So when I click here, it highlights that. Okay. And basically, this is actually what we're planning. And for assignments, you can actually track what your child has been doing with the assignments. So no more lying to, they can't lie to you anymore. And after all this, I want to say to everyone, please try to invest in the Monday app. Thank you very much. With all due respect, any questions?
All right. While the judges prepare to ask questions, I would like to call on the next teams that made it through into the top 12. And the fifth team, ladies and gentlemen, that must go at the back to prepare and make sure that you come with your demo laptop, is team Turtle Pebbles. Okay, and the sixth team, ladies and gentlemen, are the Avengers!
Thank you. I think just a quick question. If you think about it, in the school system, there is a trusted system already. It's not interactive. It's called D6 School. So if I'm a parent or any of those entities, I would say, okay, you may have the cool technology, but these guys maybe have got a lot of knowledge about the education system and they're trusted. So how would you differentiate yourself from D6?
I know D6, but it doesn't look nice. The analytical tools that we have, it's not as interactive. It's not as like, you know, when you get a WhatsApp, you get it immediately and you can reply. With this, that's what we also aim to do, to make it instant. Yeah, so it's modern. Yeah.
I just want to quickly add on to that, real quick. Now, he was speaking about interactivity. If you look, I also have experience with D6, and D6 is not that interactive. And we plan to build this into the school's intranet, meaning that the school already has a website. You just built it into their intranet, into their system, because they already have systems that use student cards. So we want to build it into their intranet. Thank you.
Alright, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it is Team TadHack. Ladies and gentlemen, they already have it. Team Tackle Purple.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time today. I would like to talk about the application that we came up with, Hospify by Purple Turtles, basically making public hospital less of a nightmare for rural areas. So, my name is Simon Wakar. This is my team member, Tilindra Puvalingam, and that's Shani Dufe. So, what's the current problem that we face in public sectors or rural areas? I could give you a perfect example of my father. Well, we do also visit public hospitals. So, to get a number, we have to go at 5 o'clock in the morning to take out a file. So I have to wait 2 hours to get a number, and another 2 hours to take out a file at public hospital. So half a day just goes taking out my file at a hospital. Then another half day goes in just seeing a doctor. That's a whole day gone, and that's time also gone. So we have decided to come up with a solution to solve this current problem.
Okay, so how we're going to solve this is by using a mobile application that allows the users to book the appointment beforehand. And also that will minimize the time that you actually have to go to the hospital and actually wait there. And on the system, it will also give you a booking number, a time, a date. So with that said, we also have a bot that will be a medical assistant bot that will ask you different questions that you have to give your symptoms. It will react to what you are inputting, and then it will say either maybe you should go see a doctor, or maybe this is not that bad, you only have a headache, maybe go to the nearest ShopRite, nearest Click, nearest Discount, and go get yourself medication. Or you can use some Goma, you guys. So there's rural, this is mainly for rural areas also. So that's why we wanted to incorporate some Goma, because they are also legalized, so you can get a sick note from them if you actually want one. You don't know that. So yes, that's our solution, to optimize it and make you not have to wait that long. And if you don't need to be there, and then you don't need to be there, you can self-medicate yourself. Okay, so we also have a USSD that we incorporated. So for those who only have feature phones, so you can also make your booking using the USSD. So you don't have to have a smartphone to use the mobile app. But obviously the mobile app comes with perks, but if you don't have that benefit, you can still make a booking and get your place in the queue to see the doctor.
Okay, so how are we making money? So basically the data that we are collecting on the hospitals that are mostly visited or that are popular, we want to allocate certain resources to them. So our big customer would be the National Insurance Fund that's responsible for the financial systems for medical, South African citizens. So we need to sell it to them and convince them how it's going to save time and cost to them. So we are aiming that we can reduce the patient visit by 20% if we can help, if the chatbot can assist them with common diseases. That's what we aim for. We're also allowing pharmacies, doctors, and sangomas to advertise on our application. So basically, once we have identified your symptoms, we then, if it's not a severe case, we want to refer you to the nearest pharmacy in your area based on your live location, or maybe a sangoma that just stays 2 steps away from you if you prefer herbal medication. And the charging a premium fee for doctors. So basically, for instance, let's say you don't want to go to the public hospital because the appointment is only in the next 6 hours. Maybe I want something quick now. So we refer you doctors in your areas. Now, if you want to be like on top charter, like in junk mail, if you want to advertise your ads on top, you have to pay a premium fee. So the doctors have to pay us a premium fee to be shown on the top of our list. But okay. Money. Okay, this is the technology we have used for chatbot. We have used IBM Watson. We use them good for sending out notifications. I would like to talk about the notifications that we have. So we notify you based on the kilometers, how far you are away. For instance, I'm half an hour away from the hospital, so we add additional 15 minutes to it, and then I will notify you 45 minutes before your appointment. Listen, your appointment is coming up, you need to make a way to the hospital. And we use the Firebase database to host our database, and we aim to use the Huawei USSD platform for featured phones.
Okay, I'm going to quickly show a demo. So this is quickly how our application looks like. So this is just telling you, okay, this is what the app is about, just an overview of logging in, and then so this will be where the bot is. So we only incorporate this in our website, so we couldn't get it into mobile as this. So this is the hospital, shows you where the hospital is, shows you the Google Maps. All of that.
Question. Obviously, you are managing very sensitive data, yeah, related to the health of the people. So, what is your approach on that?
Okay, so we're not saving any data of them. We're only using their ID number to verify them. When they do the booking, that ID number is sent to the hospital to get their file. So that's the only thing we save about them is their ID number and then obviously their password. So that's all.
So we do understand the data is very critical, so we aim to apply the end-to-end encryption on data in motion. So basically, whatever data is getting transferred from system A to system B, even if it's an ID which is very critical, we aim to apply the encryption rule on it to protect our customers' data. Yes, so we have to.
So we have a website for the hospitals. It's on the other laptop, so we couldn't like move around between the two. So we actually have the SMS service on there that actually sends out the confirmation that we set up with some wood. So yes, on that system there is a decryption.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish we had dramatic music. How was the music during the hackathon though? How was the music? We played you guys Avengers yesterday. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Team Avengers. And look at him stepping at himself.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are a group of extremely tired Avengers. I am going to try and speak very slow and very deliberately and hoping you will pick up on what it is that I am attempting to do. this is the team. We must also apologize for one of our members. It's his daughter's birthday today, so he couldn't spend the whole day here and not go and spend the day with his daughter. But this is essentially the Avengers. What is our problem that we are trying to solve? The lack of convenience and ease of access when it comes to accessing pharmaceuticals when you are sick at home and you just do not want to face the inconvenience and the schlep of living in your house. So you would really rather have a solution where you are at that point in time. How do we fix this problem? Our solution is a virtual mobile medical assistant, which will, number one, request or ask you what your symptoms are. After you've given it its symptoms, it then runs through a corpus that we would have built for it to be able to process language. Then it will then give a diagnosis, recommend a home remedy that you might utilize at home at that point in time to help you. Or the third option that will pop up on your screen is a ping that will come from one of our partners here, Technologies, that will then tell you where the nearest Discam, the nearest MediRite pharmacy, and the nearest Clicks pharmacy is, pinging a list of over-the-counter drugs that you would be able to purchase from either one of these pharmacies and be able to get treatment without having to go and see the doctor. But then there's another inconvenience that leads into that. What if I generally still do not want to leave my house? And this is where we felt we would want to plug in an innovation that would speak to South Africa, would speak to localizing of the technology, but also connecting people through these technologies that we would be utilizing. We then came up with a system that is called Shova to Good Health. Now this is a community initiative that we will run where we will get people who are unemployed, get them on bicycles so that they are able to then commute and collect these drugs from these pharmacies and then deliver to the sick patients at home, then just executing a payment, ensuring that that person is then receiving medication. But what we will also do, it will not only focus on people that have that kind of access and that kind of money, we will also then show you the nearest clinics to you where you can access free government medical assistance. Our key partners. We have utilized IBM Cloud Platform for image recognition, and it's one of the plugins that we will talk about as we were talking about the app. Here Technologies for, of course, pinging, but at some point in time when we are talking about bicycles and people making these transactions, we will need a partner in making payments. And as a result, we hope that MTN would push the South African rise of the mobile money app. How are we making money? We are going to sell the data complying to POPI laws, ensuring that when we are selling these remedies, the remedies will be able to then recommend to supermarkets that along this time in the season, people tend to purchase these types of remedies a lot, so stock up on that and we'll be able to capitalize on that data. We would then capitalize on advertising from the pharmacies that we would be paying their products, and then of course the service of the Shova to Good Health ambassadors that we would have embedded in our communities. Customer relationships, we would keep them innovation, ease of service, convenience. I'm going to skip this part just so that you get to see some of the demos.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick look to the screen. That's actually a model that we're training in order to incorporate audio, speech to text. But seeing that we're running out of time, I'm just going to run through the models that we've actually built for our system. Okay, cool. So in the case whereby you have a physical injury and you don't know exactly what it is, we will be using IBM's virtual image recognition system. It will actually just take your picture, send it through, it analyzes it, and as you can see on the far my left, it actually shows you can pick up if it's like a microorganism, a virus, the color of the skin, what type of injury it is, and then based on that, you'll know if to recommend you to a medical facility in time. Now this is just a quick demo of our actual NLP chatbot that we have. It's called Dr. Strange. Now here's a simple example. It's basically saying Dr. Strange, like, okay, hi. It's like, how may I help you? It's like, I have a, sorry about that, I have a headache and a fever. Now basically it's gonna read through the script and then it says, okay, you might have diarrhea. In fact, come to think of it, wait a little, come to think of it, this model is actually quite better than the one we had yesterday. Because yesterday I put in the same things and it said that I might be suffering from analytics. the one of these actually we will get. And then basically, guys, time is up.
in this case, I think another group asked this, you have an nexus between, on one part you're trying to do some telemedicine and do some diagnosis, and that's not going to be easy, not just a technical issue, but then how do you get around regulatory issues, right? Because at the moment it doesn't seem here the doctors are in the loop. To the revenue stream of trying to advertise through connection to pharmacies and medicine, it also seems very shaky. Because of ethical issues. So how do you deal with some of these ethical issues?
If I may just add to that, what data are you going to sell and for what purpose?
Okay, now, all right, now to put this, now, in the case with the regulatory, in terms of how we diagnose and whatnot, we're going to have the assistance of pharmacists and doctors. I apologize for not incorporating in that. That's why we have the actual, that image recognition system that's built in. That will be built, that information there will be for the medical practitioners or medical facilities. What we're going to do is, we're going to look at ailments that, like something that's very basic, like a cold, something that you can treat at home. Or if it's like an emergency, middle of the night, you hurt or something, you can't get to the hospital right there and then. We need to give you something just to keep you, like, let's say you're in pain, just to kind of like minimize the pain as such. We're not saying we want to replace medical doctors or whatnot. The regulations, they are still going to be there. Medical practitioners are going to be involved. We cannot build this without them. They have the knowledge and everything. Even the corpus we have here is from the medical practitioners themselves. Am I answering the question about regulation?
So the question on the data is the new oil. So number one, what we would never do is we would never take personal IDs of our users and ever pass them on to anybody. So what would be is, let's say the chatbot recommended that you get these remedies. 3 days later, that would have been saved. The robot will come back to you and ask you, how are you feeling? Are you feeling any better? And if you utilize those remedies. From that feedback, we are then able to say, you utilize these remedies, let's check this trend. How many people are utilizing this remedy at this point in time, and is it working? And if that is working, then it is a model that you can sell to people who are perhaps who run supermarkets or things like that, to know what they must stock seasonally and those kinds of things. This is where we were taking the data, but we would never share any personal information because we know that is totally against the law. The pictures, we could have built it better. We got 5 decent pictures, but it was just the wounds were very disgusting. We wouldn't have been able to put them there and people to keep food in their stomachs.
Thank you.
So right now I'm actually going to announce 3 teams. 3 teams that I have made it through so that we make this process as swift as possible. The first one will be hashtag 1632. Then the other team that made it through is Transcendus. And then also there's team Scratch Crafts. They are required to go to the bag to make sure that oh, you're already there. Scratch Crafts, you are required to go to the back and make sure that your PowerPoint presentation is sorted. So you will be coming in to present as one of the teams that made it into the top. I'm going to put the mic. As one of the teams that have made it.
Hello guys, my name is Tabang. I am with Umelo, and we are developing an application which is used to fight crime in the Kasi. I'm from Soweto, and Umelo is from Tembisa. These are interesting places in South Africa, known as the Hood, and we've experienced situations which show us crime and how we're exposed to crime, and many situations revolving around crime. So we came up with a solution that revolves around networks. We've spotted a trend that networks have dips, which is due to the intrusion of towers, satellite towers. This is because the demand of satellite towers and the batteries is super high. So this causes a financial strain on telecommunication companies. So we've come up with an application that can help to synchronize communities to come up with a solution to collaborate to resolving the issues of crime in the Kasi. So we had two models. We were asked what is our revenue model with regards to our application, and the first one was that we were going to use directed advertising and to spazas and car washes, which would make use of our services since they are in Soweto. So we have considered different ones since, the demonstration is going to be a bit long, so can I please just...
Okay, so network cells are under attack from battery thieves who are selling these batteries at a premium in the black market. So what we built is a map orchestration platform. We have over 700,000 data points. We've processed them and we've uploaded them to peer maps already. I did crash when we did that, but yeah, everyone has access to this, by the way. It's a charon.umelo.cloud. It's running on top of Huawei's ECS stack. So what we did is we allow people to report, to say there's an incident happening at Tower X. So now what that means is if there's a report that came out into the system, we don't know if that's true or not. So people around that area receive the same notification to say, hi, an incident has been reported. Do you confirm or not? Once we have about more than 5 confirmations, then we know that this is real. Then we have a token of trust. So what that means is we can now synchronize the nearest SAPS units. We can now synchronize the nearest CPF units. We can also now synchronize the nearest private security units to respond timely to such incidents. So now, using here maps, we have already implemented a traveling salesman approach to the program, whereby having multiple sites being attacked at once, so we can automatically know which route to take. So my colleague is just gonna create a report there, and is gonna get status updates automatically. Anyone can create a report on your phones. You can do that now. So this is running on top of 2 RDS servers from Huawei, with elastic backups already running from 2 ECS hosts. So it's live for everyone. Yes. So we also have a mode called JhB mode. So JhB mode, what it does is it's a satirical use of the system from the seriousness of how it helps people. So what this does is JhB is a talk show host for a Cheetahs Like show. So if you spot him in town, simply come here, do this, you report. Automatically, people who are enrolled in the system will get notified of this. So on the table here, it's all our data collection logs for the network points. So just walking around, you actually gathering, what tower is here, what's the signal strength. So we already know in real time, without even paying anyone, of how data will be used.
how we make money. We can sell it to MTN, we can sell it to Vodacom.
Do you do any dashboarding currently on it that you can make visible to make the comparison between Cell C, MTN and Vodacom? That we can prove to them where all the droppage is.
We have that, but it depends on whether it's responsive to you or not. So let's do this. So we have that. Then we can simply do this. Information on hover. Then this. So these are all network cells in South Africa. So yeah, we already have that. So this is what is running the EMTS, LTE, GPRS, Edge. You know what's there, and that can be done.
So one was, where's the source of the network data coming from?
Okay, so we collected some of it. People in South Africa collected some of it. We are part of a community called Cell Mapper. So we run a logging tool on our phones every day collecting this data. So after collecting the data, we had to write a Golang script to convert it so it can fit into hair maps. So that today you have a map point and you can run your API from there.
So how do you incentivize the public to actually use the app to essentially crowdsource the...
Okay, so at the top, you have this points. So you can dish out points based on people who verify accounts and people who report incidents. So what you can do is, for an X incident, you can say 30 points. If people around that person say, this is an incident, they get 30 points. You can do multiple things to that. You can either give them airtime, you can give them that, or you can offer employment opportunities at a time whereby if at a local township, your marketing is poor, you can simply choose people who have X number of points that can be used to market your product instead of going to hire people outside of that community.
So to mellow on all the crime factors that we have in our country, if they want to use this to track where cell towers down so they know which neighborhood to attack, how are you going to protect them?
Okay, so here's how it works. I don't just create an account and I automatically receive updates. So everything happens when users verify me as a person from that neighborhood. So if you are now starting to use this for ulterior motives, we have patrollers in communities hearing vuvuzela that will react to that.
Thank you, team. #1632. We did wish some people belated happy birthday at the opening of the hackathon, but I would like to take this moment to wish one of our team members, Fikile, who's been partly large in making TadHack JhB, try the social media content build up and things like that. So can we just take 20 seconds to share a happy birthday? Alright, so about to prepare. But now we're going to have team transcenders. Team transcenders come. I don't even know what the name is. Please come on stage.
Hello everyone, we are Team Transcendence, and what we decided to work on was solving the healthcare crisis in this country. So we'd like to open up with a quote to reflect how we arrived at solving this problem, which basically states the greatest disease in the world today is not TB or cancer, it is being unwanted and being uncared for. So our mission was to provide low-cost medical care while also reducing the strain on the healthcare system due to a shortage of doctors in hospitals. This is despite the fact that we have a very high number of doctors who are qualified at providing medical care who are unplaced by the health department. So our vision is to create a platform whereby we can invite currently unplaced, board certified by the HPCA to provide consultations to patients on our platform. So this is the current statistics in South Africa at the moment. At the private sector, we have a ratio of 1 to 300, so that's 1 doctor for every 300 patients. At the public sector, we have 1 doctor treating about 2,557 patients, while there are approximately 444 certified doctors currently unemployed and unplaced. So our solution is that we create a platform whereby a patient comes in, they enter their symptoms, they are matched to a physician based on the symptoms that they just entered. The patient will now have direct access to their doctor, which they have selected, based on a rating system. The patient pays a small fee for consultation, so it's a pay per consultation type system. At the current moment in South Africa, it is allowed for doctors to charge what they feel their services is worth. Doctors on the platform will monitor patients on a daily basis, or depending on how the patient can afford to pay for consultations. This will be an efficient service because, as I mentioned before, the ratio to doctor, patient to doctor ratio in South Africa is quite high. So having a platform whereby a doctor can be caring for about 5 patients or 10 or 50 would reduce the accuracy of diagnosis. Doctors will also be able to communicate with each other through the platform. On doing research yesterday, we reached out to a doctor who suggested that they be able to reach out to each other within the platform to better diagnose patients. Our services and benefits to give care and advice, direct access to doctors via voice or chat. There will be a panic button should the patient feel like their symptoms are too great for just advice. So the panic button will send an alert to emergency services and it will geolocate you and send them to your location. Remote monitoring allows us to track illnesses. It allows us to make efficient patient care. Public hospitals will benefit also because it will reduce the strain on them. This will be a pay-per-consultation service, as we mentioned, of which we will take a small fee. But the main goal of this, as we reach a critical mass of users, we will be able to map out infections and illnesses, and that is variable data to pharmaceutical industry, to the healthcare industry, which will work on early prevention and detection of illnesses. And we will sell ads to pharmaceuticals, which will allow us to generate some revenue. So these were the technologies that we used. We used Android Studio for developing the app, Here Technologies for geolocation, for geo-visualization of the data, and Simwood for SMSing and sending out of emergency alerts. I'm going to take you through our app now. So on the home screen, when you log in, it will ask for your location, which you will accept to display. It will display common symptoms based on your region. So if in your area a lot of people are complaining of colds, heartburns, you will see that on the home screen, and you will be able to...
One was why are there 444 medical people unemployed?
That was an approximate value based on the current statistics in the country. According to the Department of Health, this year, last year, 586 graduates were certified to be doctors in South Africa, but only 184 of them were able to be placed. So the rest, although they are certified to practice medicine, they don't have placement at hospitals.
Okay, so they haven't done their community work yet, basically. So be careful about the definition. And then, again, people doing telemedicine again, and then ads. So, yeah.
Like I mentioned, it's not any doctor who goes there. They have to be board certified to actually be able to provide service on our app. And at the current moment, regulations in South Africa allow for that.
Thank you. Can we now have Team Scratch Craft? Yeah. Team Scratch.
Good afternoon. We are Scratch Craft, and what we do is we use existing technology to come up with solutions to better our lives. Crime. It's one of the biggest cancers that is eating off of society at the moment. South Africa is no exception. This is a global catastrophe. So what we are trying to do here is we created a chatbot, and that chatbot, instead of it being like your normal personal assistant, this chatbot actually has eyes. And by eyes, I mean cameras. We have this camera module right here. This is a small camera, and then this camera can be used inside your home, can connect to your Wi-Fi, and you can basically place it anywhere you want to. So it is connected also to the chatbot, whereby if you leave your house and you know you live alone, so when you leave your house, you can set the whole house on armed, and then once it detects something moving in the house, it can send you a real-time notification to your phone or your web server, and then you can open up the notification, and then you can live stream and see what's happening. So another use case is in a car. If you park your car in, let's say, Mall of Africa or Clearwater Mall or whatever mall there is, and you're just shopping out there, and then there's a problem now, you get a notification, there's something moving in the car, you can just stream it there, and then you can actually catch whatever culprit in the act. And then after that, there is an action that's related to the notification itself. So that action is where you decide whether to send it to emergency services or just ignore. We're just going to go for a quick demo. We have 2 demos for you today. Okay, so this is our chatbot. I'm just gonna hello, and then it replies hi to Aletu, and I ask it how are you. Okay, let's just move the laptop to the judges so they can see. Yes, and then from here, the chatbot, you can actually ask it what. Sorry. So you can ask the chatbot itself what your calendar is, and it will give you that feedback. So we also have an integration for opening up the camera, and then once you open up the camera, you can go into your web server, of which it's right there, and then you can see the feed from the camera, so you can see that. So we just need to set it up, and then it can be motion detect, and then from there it'll send a notification. Turn it upside down. Okay, so from there, once set up motion detect, okay, this notification right there, and then you can open up the notification itself. There. So we also have another one, another demo here. So this one is based on facial recognition. So the facial recognition we're using here is called OpenCV. So for the OpenCV, what it actually does, it recognizes whatever face is registered on the laptop. So if it's your personal laptop, you can register your face, and then registering your face, you can detect if someone else is actually using the laptop, and then from there, it'll send a notification straight to the phone. So we're just gonna start it up, and then turn it to you guys, and then we'll show you the notification on the phone.
So if you just activate it here, and just press the button, the camera gets activated, and it tries to recognize the faces. So as soon as you click here, and it doesn't recognize you, then we send a notification to the whole phone. Come here.
There it is. So the notification reads, emergency, hello, we have detected an unknown person using your laptop. Thank you.
I'm not really clear what the problem is.
So the problem that we're trying to solve is burglary and your car, parking your car somewhere and then you find your car's gone and stolen in the parking. So we're using these small cameras that you can basically put around your house or put around your car, and what you have there is a Wi-Fi, so it connects to the Wi-Fi. So we've actually been looking to make money out of selling these modules themselves and then onboarding people to the platform. And then obviously, since these cameras use internet, so we need an ISP service provider, just like MTN, of which they can partner up with us. All we need from them is their data SIMs or routers, and then they can go, we can actually sell the products in partnership with MTN.
Can you also recap the technologies that you're integrating?
Okay, so the chatbot, the chatbot we're using, we used it TCS. And then the streaming of the video, we're using Epidays, the web RTC. Thank you.
So I am announcing the last two teams, but before I announce the last two teams, there's a request that when the presentation finishes, all the teams that signed up for the Huawei challenge must remain here because I'm going to showcase your solution to the Huawei team for the special prizes from Huawei. Are we clear? But the last two teams.
Also, please don't leave if you're not part of the top 12. Because there is other prizes as well for teams that is not in the top 12. So please don't leave.
Yes, so there are various versions of technology and such, but the last two teams, ladies and gentlemen, you know, sometimes when you sit on front, ladies and gentlemen, please note that the second last team will be team Cupid Mafia. Yeah. So we have we'll finish off everything from live soul and things like that with Team Thanos.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are Team JhB, developers of the JhB app. Our app is developed specially for township people. So basically, we are gonna provide two services. We're gonna serve to help in two areas. One is unemployment, and the other one is services like Uber and Mr. D Foods don't come and deliver where I stay because of the security reasons. So now I'm going to paint you a little bit of a picture by telling you a story. So there is this guy who sells bunny chows. We call them sparkle reporter. So he makes the best sparkle. We all like it. But then not everyone can access him because some people live far. There's also this lady who sells fruits and vegetables, but then she has the same problem as the guy who sells sparkles. And then there's this guy at the corner called Sipo. He has a bicycle and a mobile phone, but then he doesn't have a job. So now our aim is to use Sipo, who's at the corner, to connect the lady who's selling fruits and vegetables and the guy who's selling furniture. Yeah, that's basically our aim, and also Sipo is going to help these small businesses reach wider areas. Yeah, so that's basically what we're going to do in terms of our episode.
Greetings again. So this is how our application looks. I think I just made my presentation there. So as he highlighted that we have a person who's selling fast food. So we also have services such as people will be able to register and sell, and others will be able to register and be users who actually buy stuff or anything products. So for instance, I'm a user, I want to purchase fast food, I stay in a township, I'll be able to log in, enter my details and purchase a fast food, a furniture or anything. So we are using here maps to track whether the product has arrived or not. So as well as, okay, we also have an instant pay feature. So not only are we offering these services, but we are aiming, or we are trying to make everything here on our hands. So we also have an instant payment. So we also have an instant payment. Imagine your friend is having his birthday tomorrow, or their birthday tomorrow, and you forgot, and then they are mad at you because you forgot. So here we have developed an instant payment system that will give you the ability to transfer money to your friends and send them a message, and that should make them, that will cheer them up. But you'll also be able to pay anything using the application. You can just use it to pay the furniture which you purchased or any services. We are trying to build or develop, bring improvement on our townships, because we believe that by doing so, we'll be able to ease the burden that is upon our economy. So we have a lot of features such as you can buy electricity and other transactions. You can also transfer funds directly from your bank account to the application. So I'll just give to my partner so that he can explain about our security features.
Okay, in terms of security, we used IBM's Security Advisor and Curator for vulnerabilities and scans and also exploits. So this application is taking in terms of monetization, we're taking the informal business sector to try and sort of formalize it in a way and generate a GDP properly. So when vendors use this system, we take a certain amount from the transactions that take place.
Okay, so we do not have a specific payment system behind, because we have noticed that, say for example, you're using ABSA, I'm using FNB, and I want to send you 20 rands. It's going to cost me 24 hours, or it will take 24 hours for you to get that money. But we are trying to reduce that by creating our own account, so our users who are logged in will use our account to make transfers or any other payments. So what's going to happen is they'll be able to buy vouchers and load it instead of using their bank if they are skeptical about putting their bank details. But if you are not skeptical about putting your bank details like us, you can just load cash directly to the application, and then you can send money. Just to show you an easy illustration, you will enter the amount, you will enter the number of the person and their message, and then as soon as you hit send, they'll get the cash instantly. For example, imagine your friend is hungry, you don't have cash and you want to buy them food, you can just say, okay man, just install this app, I'll send you 20 rands. It's just instantly and it costs somewhere around 1 rand. Our churches are like that. So.
Just explain the business model to me again. So how are you going to make money?
Okay. So in terms of making money, we take it, for the user. The user has a set amount of free transactions. So from those transactions, if they are finished, we take a certain amount from the user.
The vendors won't pay you. That's on the system.
No, the vendors will pay.
Okay, just to add, I can see we have time. We also implement Google Play feature, Android Pay, that is Google Pay, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, and Hawaii Pay, because I believe that we are moving towards that. So it would be nice that you're using our application, you're at ShopRite, you didn't bring your card, you just pay, you just tap and pay. Or if you want to make a QR code payment, we will also put that feature. So we believe that by working with those companies, it will increase our security, because Google will not like to hear that their Google Play has been hacked. Apple would also not like to hear that. And by also working with different banks, that will also increase our safety, because they also want to make sure that they also want to make sure that it is safe to use FNB Standard Bank and ABSA or Capitec to transfer money. So thank you.
And this time. And now, the very last team to present today are Team Thanos. Oh, we're not done yet.
Cupid Mafia. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. We are Cupid Mafia. The current high unemployment rate in South Africa is not just a resultant of the lack of skill. It's a resultant of the lack of experience. This is caused by the fact that companies look for individuals who have a lot of experience in the fields and have a lot of academic records and recognition from their schools. So currently, the current problem with South Africa is that experience counts as a priority for private companies looking for individuals in communities. So,
and if we take a look at some data statistics, we can see that there's a lack of mentorship in people from low socioeconomic backgrounds. Furthermore, 87% of recent graduates feel like they are qualified enough to get a job. Meanwhile, only 50% of hiring managers feel the same way. Right, so what we did to validate our hypothesis is we created a survey. So we asked the users, we got 54 responses today. We asked our mentors to send them out. Thank you. We asked the question of what barriers of entry into the job market do you face. A lot of the problems that we noticed was lack of experience, location, and transportation. We asked them what would they like to see for them to gain experience. A lot of the users responded with a online platform. Right, so our solution, basically what it does is businesses can upload tasks in the form of challenges, that I as a user, you as a user can register to solve. So when you complete a challenge, you get accreditation from reputable companies saying that you have completed work for them. The more tasks you complete, the more accreditations you get, the more reputation you build for yourself. You can also connect with local people in your community who are involved in the same niche, maybe finance, programming, maybe you're stuck in C# and all of that. We've identified potential competitors. What sets us apart is our shared value proposition. So what this means is businesses get actionable solutions that they can implement in their projects immediately. I, as a user, can get recognition in exchange for that company-backed accreditation. We provide data-driven insights, not data-driven insights, and you can work from anywhere in the world.
So I don't know about you guys, but I really like money. So this is how we're gonna actually monetize our platform. Because what's a business if you can't monetize it? So there's two ways we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a premium model and a premium model. So in the premium model, we're gonna allow businesses to post one challenge, for example, and they'll be able to get their sponsors from the participants after that. The premium model will be a monthly subscription, and businesses will be able to post as many challenges as they want, but also be able to get data-driven insights. So what do I mean when I say data-driven insights? So as a platform, we'll have all the data of the most used languages, the most efficient programmers as well, and we can sell this data to the recruitment companies as well. So our key partners were Here Maps. We used them to show the location of the nearest users doing the challenges. So you as a user can partner up with someone if you feel stuck. We're trying to build a community and not just an individual type system like Freelancer or Fiverr. We also plan to partner up with universities, NGOs, charities, and training programs as well. So I'll just run you through the demo. So as you can see on the dashboard, you can either post a challenge or you're looking for a challenge. If you can just go down. So on the platform, it shows the highest demand skill set. So you as a user can actually see what the market is in favor of. So if I'm a robotics and automation student, I can click view resources and actually see courses that apply to me. So this not only helps you to know which courses to study, but it also makes it a curated course list as well. Please go candidates.
So interesting idea. So with the companies in terms of monetization, how do you now protect against abuse? So in this case, how do you make sure that there's a lot of people who might be looking for jobs? The necessity that on the other side is that companies don't have the supply, it's not necessarily true, but then now it might be a way to then get cheap labor to do these projects without actually. So how do you now deal with this thing that you have to pay people what they're worth, but at the same time people might want you to reduce your fees to get onto your.
Okay, so our main goal as a company is to give people easily accessible work experience. That's the main goal. Because as students, we know you need experience to get a job, but I need a job to get experience. So where do I get this experience? So on the platform, you'll be able to look for your courses and register and get the courses as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so if something is worth 1,000 an hour, but like it's a task, but it's worth 1,000 an hour, and then now you get somebody who puts it as 50 an hour paid because now they're giving experience. I'm saying, how do you guys then are going to deal with that problem? Because it's abuse, if you're abusing the worker.
Okay, so essentially what we're trying to do is create a community, and the fact that with Fiverr and things like that, the lowest bidder or the most qualified gets the job. So what this does is shows competency, right? Now, just because your solution was proposed doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be used. So as a company, I can select, okay, maybe this solution was the most efficient. I can see that this programmer was programmed in the most timely manner. I can then use that to scout top talents and hire them. So in the short term, I understand where you're coming from, where you might be abusing the workers, but that's where the shared value proposition comes in. In return for getting your reputation behind me, I am providing you with a workable solution that you can implement immediately.
The other part that you mentioned before, you say, okay, in reality you can answer to the challenges in a team. So how then I can select the individual as a company if there is a team that is answering to the challenge?
You would have team-based challenges. If you want to see whether these people can work in a team or not, and post individual challenges separately, and you can actually, because you've registered as an individual user, you can actually see whether this person took more time than their teammates. That's where our data-driven insights comes in. So we take in all this information and we give you something visual to see, whether you can, so you can assess who was the most competent and in what way they were the most competent, and if they were efficient enough to actually be a potential candidate for employment in the future. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim Vanus to end it all.
Good evening, everyone. We are Team Finance, and we are going to be presenting to you an automated location of missing persons. So South Africa is one of the most crime-ridden countries, and kidnappings and abductions are not an exception when it comes to all the issues that we're dealing with in this country. And each and every day we have around we have a kid who goes missing every 5 hours, and we have around 628 open missing people's cases at the JhB station, police station alone. So what we are trying to do is leverage off the Twitter platform, since it's like one of the most used platforms in South Africa, and when something is posted on there, it goes viral and people are able to find help. So we are leveraging off Twitter to help find missing persons. I'm going to give Xavier the mic to tell you how we did that.
Everyone. So our whole aim was to make this as automated as possible. And what does everyone use every day? Probably a social network of some sort. We focused on Twitter just because we used it before, and we wanted to implement something as quick as possible. So the user posts a tweet with some information about the person that's missing, their last seen location, the time they were last seen, and a picture of the person. Our Java Twitter bot listens to those messages and then queries the Here Places API to get locations and points of interest around that location. It then sends that to our DB via REST API, where we have locations linked to cameras, CCTV cameras, and then we send that information over to a OpenCV Python function, which checks those camera streams for the person who's missing using facial recognition. In terms of the business side of things, the main revenue stream is supposed to be from the South African Police Service. So this should be a tool for them to find people more easily or shorten the time it takes for them to find missing people. Also relies heavily on government funding. There's also a other side of the coin where you could say it could be used to find people who have committed theft. Another point of revenue is the image analytics. We're processing video streams all the time. We can pick up other pieces of information like what types of shopping bags are people carrying around, so we can know which brands are more popular than other brands, stuff like that. But a big selling point is POPI compliance. So I think POPI is all about privacy of information, and the main thing is building the system in a way that's POPI compliant. Is something that the government and the SAPD will find alluring. I'm just going to go into a quick demo again. So if you look on the screen on the side, I have this video stream going, and my webcam is acting as the CCTV right now. And I'm being seen as unknown. There's a lot of false positives, but that's okay. And Joss is about to post a tweet that says I'm missing. So he's going to do that now. And when that happens, the bot will reply to the tweet saying that we've just received your request to look for this person, and it's successfully been added to the system. So, all good. So now I'm going to come back to the camera now. And now it shows user ID 11. So that's identified me as user 11, whoever that is. And it sends a response back to the rest of the system to say that this user has been found. A bit of Python multi-threading. Yeah, that's it. These are some links if anyone's interested in the stats.
Just a quick one. You guys stated that the child goes missing every 5 hours, and there's only 600 missing cases. There's a discrepancy there, so what happens? Most people are out?
The 600 cases is the current number of people missing in Johannesburg now. The child status is different. So.
Except for that. One just connected to your POPI compliance. Do I opt out or do I opt in?
It is tricky.
No, because again, connecting to everybody puts an advertisement. So I don't want to be tracked. And if your system is looking at faces and looking at my plastic bags, I don't want to be in your system.
No, so it's not.
So for POPI, that's a challenge because it means that you're collecting information about people.
So collecting, not tying the analytics information to the facial recognition information. So you can just say there were 100 certain bags versus 1,000 of other bags, not knowing who the bags were for.
Okay, but then I'm saying, so your system is never tracking faces until when?
No, it is tracking faces.
That you're using aggregated data that you're going to sell back to the market. So many Woolworths bags, so many Pick n Pay bags. However, when a trigger happens in a tweet, that's when your system will receive the trigger, say missing person, and then you'll track the face to find out where the person is.
That's correct.
Just tell me what you're going to do for real-time streaming. What technology?
Yeah, so that's also another tricky one. Not every CCTV camera has high-speed network infrastructure to support the video streams. So there are a couple of different options. A case like this where there's a local hardware running the video processing, that's obviously not practical in all cases, but most likely some sort of IP-based camera system would work better. Yeah.
You can also get fake news. So I know you're a missing person, and people create false positives. Tweet a picture from 2 years ago. How do you manage that?
Yeah, that is something that we've spoken about, and we don't really have a solution for that. Like, you could post a picture of anyone, and the system, if they've seen, the system would find that person. Because we're trying to aim mainly at the SAPD and the government, we think maybe this feature we could limit it to use by only the SAPD and the government, instead of it being publicly accessible.
Guys, can we please have all the hackathon volunteers up on stage quickly? While can the judges please go to Tanzania? Zanzibar. University of Technology, you're needed outside urgently. Fourth year allies, and you're needed outside.